નવરચના યુનિવર્સિટીની સ્કૂલ ઓફ એન્વાયરમેન્ટલ ડિઝાઇન એન્ડ આર્કિટેક્ચરમાં આંતરરાષ્ટ્રીય પરિસંવાદ યોજાશે, જેને લઈને પ્રેસ કોન્ફરન્સ રાખવામાં આવી હતી, જેમાં પરિસંવાદને લઈને સંપૂર્ણ માહિતી આપવામાં આવી છે। 2 ઓક્ટોબરના રોજ નવરચના યુનિવર્સિટીની સ્કૂલ ઓફ એન્વાયરમેન્ટ ડિઝાઇન એન્ડ આર્કિટેક્ચર દ્વારા આ પરિસંવાદનું આયોજન કરવામાં આવ્યું છે। આ એક આંતરરાષ્ટ્રીય પરિસંવાદ છે જે 11મી ISVS પરિસંવાદનું આયોજન કરવામાં આવ્યું છે, તે વિશે આ પ્રેસ કોન્ફરન્સમાં માહિતી આપવામાં આવી હતી।
हम यहाँ पे इंटरनेशनल सेमिनार कर रहे हैं। ये 11th इंटरनेशनल सेमिनार ऑन वर्नैकुलर आर्किटेक्चर है। वर्नैकुलर आर्किटेक्चर मतलब वो आर्किटेक्चर और वो बिल्डिंग है जो आर्किटेक्ट्स नहीं बनाते हैं, बट लोग खुद अपने कॉमन सेंस और अपने ट्रेडिशन और हिस्ट्री को मद्देनज़र रखते हुए बनाते हैं। तो ये जिस प्रकार का आर्किटेक्चर होता है वो अभी लुप्त होते जा रहा है, वो चले जा रहा है। और ये जो इंटरनेशनल सेमिनार है जहाँ पे अलग अलग देशों से लोग आए हुए हैं, वो सारे अपने अपने देशों की केस स्टडी लेके आए हैं, रिसर्च लेके आए हैं, और वो बता रहे हैं कि भाई उनके देश में इस टाइप का जो ट्रेडिशनल आर्किटेक्चर है वो किस प्रकार का था। अब सवाल ये है कि हम वर्नैकुलर या ट्रेडिशनल आर्किटेक्चर की बात कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि हमारा ये बहुत ऐसा मानना है कि इस आर्किटेक्चर में ऐसे लेसन्स हैं और ऐसा ज्ञान है जो हमारी यंगर जनरेशन को और हम एज अ प्रोफेशनल आर्किटेक्ट को भी चाहिए। फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, ये जो इस टाइप का आर्किटेक्चर होता था वो क्लाइमेट के हिसाब से एकदम सूटेड होता था, वो लोकल मटेरियल से ही बन जाता था, और जो हमारी सोशल लाइफ है या जो इंडिया का कल्चर है, जो लोकल कल्चर है, उसके साथ में मिला जुला था। अब नया डेवलपमेंट होते जा रहा है, इकॉनमी बढ़ रही है, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन आते जा रहा है, तो जो हमारा नया डेवलपमेंट होता है, तो कभी कभी अगर आप कोई पुराने लोगों से बोलो कि हाँ भाई है तो सही नया, मगर वो बात नहीं है, वो लाइफ नहीं है। तो हम चाह रहे हैं कि नया डेवलपमेंट तो हो, मगर वो पुराने जो हमारा आर्किटेक्चर था, जो हिस्ट्री है, ट्रेडिशन है, उसको सीखे कुछ और उसको नए में इनकॉर्पोरेट करा जाए। तो ये जो सेमिनार सीरीज़ है करीब करीब ये अभी 23 ईयर्स से चल रही है। पहले ये इंडोनेशिया में शुरू हुई, 2-3 सेमिनार के बाद ये इंडिया में आई, उसके बाद श्रीलंका गई, उसके बाद नॉर्थ साइप्रस गई, उसके बाद इस्तांबुल टर्की गई, फिर वापस ये इंडोनेशिया गई और अब ये वापस इंडिया आई है। तो ये पूरे वर्ल्ड में घूम के 23 साल में अब वापस हमारे शहर बड़ौदा में आई है।
बड़ौदा में पहली बार?
ये बड़ौदा में ये सेमिनार पहली बार हो रहा है। इंडिया में ये दूसरी बार हो रहा है। पहले एक बार अहमदाबाद में ही हुआ था 8-10 साल पहले।
और इस सेमिनार में नवरचना यूनिवर्सिटी के बच्चों को इंक्लूड किया जाए?
हमारे ये पूरा जो सेमिनार है नवरचना यूनिवर्सिटी के बच्चों के लिए ही करा गया है। वो सारे के सारे यहाँ पे तैयारियों में भी लगे हुए हैं, और ये सारे के सारे हमारे ऑडियंस हैं। इनफैक्ट ये जो सब सीनियर लोग आए हैं वो बच्चों से बातें करने के लिए ही आए हैं, आपस में भी बात करने आए हैं, बट मेनली ये बच्चों की ट्रेनिंग के लिए ही करा जा रहा है।
Well, ISVS was first initiated in Indonesia in 1999 as a conference which was looking at the relevance of local knowledge in the vernacular settlements to the modern world. I attended this conference in 1999 as a lecturer from the University of Morato in Sri Lanka. And then the same conference or similar conference was held in Depok 2 years afterwards. I attended that one as well. And the number of participants, particularly the international participants, grew. Professor Miki Desai came from Ahmedabad to that conference. And at that meeting, we decided that this should become an international movement. So the third conference took place in Surabaya in Indonesia once again. Talking about relevance of local knowledge as related to the vernacular settlements and the modern world. And subsequently, because the group expanded, we decided to take it out of Indonesia. And the first time it went out of Indonesia was to Ahmedabad. Professor Pratyush Shankar and Professor Miki Desai were involved in the organization of that event in Ahmedabad. And we talked about the vernacular, which is in change, transition all the time, because things are not fixed, they change. And we talked about how it changes, why it changes, and what do we do about it, and so on. And then from there it went to Colombo, Sri Lanka, where I was actually. And we talked about the resettlement and reproduction of culture and tradition, and how can we do that. So we had another conference 2 years afterwards in Colombo. And from Colombo, we went to North Cyprus, We looked at another idea which is slightly different from the historical vernacular. I remember you were talking about Purana and Purana and Purana. Actually speaking, vernacular is not only Purana, it is also things that people do right now. Whatever people do right now, also vernacular. So we talked about what we call contemporary vernacular at North Cyprus. And then from North Cyprus, we went to Turkey. Another conference 2 years later. From Turkey, we went to Makassar in Indonesia, back again. We looked at how the fishing communities, for example, boat making and things like were traditionally being done in Makassar in Indonesia. So after Makassar, we went to Bali a couple of years ago, where we talked about how vernacular is represented and defines identity of people by themselves. So Bali was a very successful event, and from Bali it came to India again to Bhopal.
Today's is the students of
This seminar brings together scholars, academics and researchers from around the world, from Indonesia, from Turkey, from Sri Lanka, from India and from other countries. And they come and present and talk about what happens in those vernacular settlements and what we can learn about them. I remember someone was mentioning, which is a very valid point, that vernacular settlements have been sustainable, and we are now talking about sustainability. And we can learn lessons about sustainability from vernacular settlements. We can imitate to some extent some of the practices and learn some values from them. And if they do, we will be able to develop better sustainable communities than trying to deal with energy and so on and so forth in a mechanical way. So we bring that knowledge together. The researchers bring that knowledge. When they're present, the others are listening. They can ask questions. They can share knowledge. And this sharing of knowledge is very useful and very important, because you go back to your country and you share your knowledge again with your students, and then they share your knowledge with the others and so on. So this is the whole idea of this conferencing business, is to bring knowledge and share that knowledge with everyone else. This is what is happening in Baroda. This is a fantastic event for that purpose.